In today's presentation, we're going to be looking at Unity Mobile. It's a reboot. It's 2.0. So there's a lot of people on this call that perhaps aren't familiar with the Unity Mobile app itself. So I think the best way to illustrate what's new is just to recap the functionality in general with the application, and we'll touch on the new parts that are out in this release. So I think by way of introduction, the Unity Mobile is an app that's available for iOS and Android devices. And what are we trying to do? We're trying to project the BroadSoft calling experience out to those mobile devices. So we're trying to, using the native dialer, so there's no SIP client in these apps, so we're using the native dialer to effectively tunnel into BroadSoft so that all incoming and outgoing calls go through the BroadSoft platform. So you've still got the business persona, namely you've got your direct dial number, and you've got access to all of the BroadSoft call control and call recording and other ancillary services, presence and chat and various other things. With that, let's just recap what we're going to be looking at today. And as I mentioned, it's going to be pretty much a live demo, and we're going to do some inbound calls, outbound calls, show you some configuration options, and basically just sort of jump in live. So with that, I think let's toggle across and we'll have a look at the app. So this is the Unity Mobile. This is Android in this example. And I think let's just have a little look around the interface. Firstly, I've got a directories tab on the left. So this is going to show me all of the BroadSoft users in my group. It's also going to show me common speed dial numbers that are logged in BroadSoft. So if the customer's uploaded, like a customer list or key contacts, that's going to be in there. And of course, it's also going to show my own mobile contacts. So that's it's pulling up my mobile directory as well. And as you can actually see, the different icons, the different directory entry types are illustrated by their icon. So what I can do is, from the directories, I can just save some favorites, which I have actually set up here, as you can see. So one of the things we're looking at here is a busy lamp field. So the users in the green and red are basically users that are in my group or enterprise. And if I'm in a Wi-Fi area, I can see the hook state, so I can see how Sally is on the phone. I've also added to favorites 2 external numbers. So this is the little cellular icon here at the bottom. So those are numbers that are on my own mobile device. Like I say, I've added them to the favorites as well. So I've got a one-touch dial where I can dial those cellular favorites, local device favorites, actually from the BroadSoft extension. So that's the favorites. And then I've got a keypad to make a call, which I'm not going to talk too much about, and I've got some call logs. So if I go back into my favorites, and then we'll just, I think what we'll do is we'll make an outbound call. So I'm going to make a call to Steve Tutt. So I'm going to call this user here. So what I'm going to do is tap in. We can make a call. Call through in progress. I'll talk about the calling options, but as I mentioned, we're using the native dialer here, so we're not using any SIP client. So what's basically happening is I've just made an outbound call. So what Unity Mobile has then done is it's dialed through BroadSoft and it's called this external party. So now we've got this active call window. This is going to pop up all the time whenever you have an incoming or outgoing call through the BroadSoft extension. So in this case, it's an outgoing call. For an incoming call, it would have come into the BroadSoft extension, and then it would have delivered externally to my cellular number. So I pick up the call on the native dialer, as I've mentioned, and then this active call window for Unity Mobile will pop over the top. And the key element of this is that this gives me all the call control for the BroadSoft extension. So for example, I can put this user on hold. If I put them on speakerphone on that device there, that would actually play BroadSoft hold music or whatever hold music has been uploaded for this group. What I've also got is I've got so hold and retrieve, and I've got call recording. I'll look at the call recording configuration options. I've got this set to always with pause and resume. So what's happening at the moment is this call is being recorded on the BroadSoft call recording service. And if I tap here, I've actually just paused that recording, and then I can toggle it to being active recording again. See, so I've turned the call recording back on. Okay, so what I can also do is I've got this call up now. I can also go back into my contacts where I was before, and I can, here we go. So if I wanted to conference somebody else in or make another call, in this case I'm going to call this other external party. I'm going to call Steve on one of our support guys. I'm going to make a call to Steve. Am I going to call or transfer? I'm going to make a call. It's taking me back. You'll see that the first caller has been put on hold. There's been a second caller has been opened up. And then I can just hit conference, and I can bring all these guys together. You see he's got an active conference call. I can then go and drop Steve out and just pull back to this first caller I've got. See, this is all using none of the native phone capabilities. This is all using the BroadSoft service, okay? And equally, I can go transfer as well. So I could make another call using the dial pad, or I can go into transfer, and I can transfer the call to another number, or transfer the call to Kendrick. If I make a call here, do you want to call it or do you want to transfer it? Okay, so what we can do is I don't want to do either of those actually. So there we go. What I've also got, what I can also do is I can pull a live call. So if I have started a call on my IP desk phone, so a Polycom or a Yealink IP phone, and then you want to pull the call to your mobile extension, you can just open the menu option up here and go pull call. I do not have a call open on my extension at present, so it's not going to be, there is not going to be one to pull, but it's literally as simple as just hit call pull, and that call is going to come across. The mobile will ring, the native dialer will ring, and when you answer it, you'll end up popping this active call window here, and then you'll have the BroadSoft call control on the mobile device. So you can push and pull those calls live. Okay, so that's how to make an outgoing call and how to control the extension and the behavior. So hopefully that's pretty intuitive, and hopefully that shows that it's really easy to use, to be quite honest. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop that call, and I'm going to make another incoming call. So I'm going to drop that out. Okay, so what's going to happen is this is a call that's come into my BroadSoft number. Okay, so it's not come into the cellular number. You'll see I've got a pop here coming up. You might have seen that had a little push notification got delivered. Now, the importance of that is that tells me that I'm taking a BroadSoft call. So it's a business call to my BroadSoft number. It's not a call that's come direct to my cellular device, okay? I did actually answer that pretty quick, and then what's happened here is, again, this has popped over the top straight away. So I can now do the same call control and everything else we looked at. That's how an incoming call looks, okay? So that's how the whole experience for the user looks. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop that call, and I'm going to touch on a couple of other features that we've got. Okay, so one of the things we have got is instant messaging. So Sally's on the phone, but what I've got here is, so if I tap into the user, I can see basically the call log history and any instant messages. Hi. Okay. So Sally or any other user can message me back. Everybody can share messages across any Unity device within the customers group or enterprise. So it doesn't have to be Unity Mobile to Unity Mobile. It's any Unity device. Everybody can talk. There we go. Hi. We're happy. People are pretty friendly in this office, so that's good. So that's instant messaging. So again, it's very straightforward. There's no separate account creation or anything like that. If you've got Unity, you've got instant messaging. It just works. Let me jump in and show you how I can configure some of the settings. The first thing I want to talk about is call through and call back. These are the calling behaviors that you can use. Call through is often, I think, what people use. It's a more elegant solution. What it means is that when they dial from the Unity interface or they dial from the keypad, it's then making a call through BroadSoft, basically. It's dialing through BroadSoft, then it's dialing to the outbound party. So again, all the call recordings and the call logs and everything is on the BroadSoft platform. You have got options of choosing callback as well. You've got options here of using outgoing calling options. So let's start with this here. So as you can see, I've got callback, call through, use the mobile if you do actually want to use the underlying GSM, and prompt for each call. So I've got it nailed up here that it's going to use call through all the time. If it was set for prompt for each call, all it means is that when I dial the number from the keypad or from the contacts, it gives me a pop-up saying, do you want to perform this call using call through or callback or the mobile? Myself, I prefer to use it nailed up as using call through. Okay, so that's cool. What I've also got is some service configuration. So without going through all of these, I've got call forward, do not disturb, etc. Call recording, this is something I touched on when we had a live caller. As I mentioned, I've got it on always with pause resume, and this is where you can configure. This will be familiar with anybody that's seen the BroadSoft call recording service. This is where you can configure those options. Okay. So let's leave that with always pause resume. And then I've got I've got a couple of other settings. BroadWorks Anywhere. At the moment, the requirement to use this application, the only requirement is the user must have the BroadWorks Anywhere service assigned. Okay. Call centers. So the call center integration works like this. I can join and leave queues at the bottom here, and I can also change my ACD state. What we've also got is unavailable codes. So if I choose to go unavailable, these are the unavailable codes that have been configured, again, in BroadSoft. So I can choose that I'm in a meeting, so I can't take those calls. So that's obviously quite a powerful option for, if you've got an overflow team, if you've got mobile people that aren't desk-bound and they need to be able to get the call center calls out to the mobile device, see that they're a call center call with a push notification, answer those calls appropriately, so not saying, hi, it's Steve speaking, hi, it's Kakapo Systems, etc. And then also configuring my availability so I can just actually make myself unavailable or join and leave queues. Okay, so we're pushing all of that control out. What we have also seen is that we're seeing some people using Unity Mobile actually where they're in a desk-bound call center type environment, but they're just using this actually as a quick way to just, again, as you can see, just toggle their availability. So that's basically how the app behaves. And I think if there's any questions, I think this now would be a good time to... we've got a couple of questions straight away. Does the inbound notifications work the same for iOS? Yes, they do. It's exactly the same. It's the same as what we saw. So if you're taking, just to recap what we're talking about with those push notifications, when a call gets delivered, when the native dialer is ringing, then you get a push notification so that you can see that it's a BroadSoft call. Great, guys. I think looks like it's cleared down most of the questions. If you've got anything else you'd like to know or you want to get your hands on this and have a go with it, please reach out to us offline and we'd certainly share and we'll get you set up with a demo. Thanks for joining. Have a good day. Bye-bye.